So part two, my phone had it had shut off because I didn't have enough video storage. So I'm in the room and I hear security, say what they need to say. They come up there and I'm passing out. When the paramedics got there, I had on this gown. And so they took me in the bathroom and laid me on the floor. And I remember asking for some water. You feel me? And I see the chief of police talking to my mother in the living room. Alfred was the one who brought me the water. Alfred got on his knees and he said, "I'm sorry." He said, "I didn't know that this is not normal because this is the way I was treated as a stepchild. My stepfather used to do me the same way, so I thought that this was the way I was supposed to treat stepchildren. Like a man." He looked me in my face and apologized and he cried. And him and my mother went to jail. My mother went to jail because she lied. She told the police they was married. And they was asking me, was they married? And I said, no, they're not married. So he asked my mother for a marriage certificate and she couldn't produce one. And I think Alfred went because he was whooping on a child that wasn't his. Mind you, my Uncle Gus clearly told him you can't do that. But when you mad, emotions run high. So they went to jail. And I remember them cutting my gown off of me and saying that I was bruised. So I had bruises, my neck, face, arms, legs and shit. Weapon my face, some more shit. Once they cut the gown, I passed out. I was gone. Week later, I woke up. And my auntie Merlin was sitting next to the bed and she was crying. And she was like, "I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong with your mama and you. And my brother and da-da-da-da." So, the state took me out of that house and I had to go stay with Auntie Merlin. And from time to time, so my Auntie Merlin got this window in her family room, extra room. And it's a window. So you actually could walk up into Auntie Merlin's yard and come to the window and look in there. And it's a slide window. My mother would come to the window and she would say shit like, now imagine, she was supposed to stay away from me. She would come to the window and she would say, if I had to do it again, I would. Not one time through all of the shit that happened, my mother sat down with me and asked me, "What is wrong, Isha?" Not one time. Never did. I had to stay with Auntie Merlin and them, her Uncle Gus. And, I kind of built a rapport with Auntie Merlin and Uncle Gus because I started listening more to Uncle Gus because he was always a good dude. And I like to learn. So, he would teach me stuff about the Empress and how to sterilize your water. A lot of Moorish beliefs. And even though I'm not Moorish, I do understand. Because if it ever get to the point where I need to sterilize some water and I don't have no type of sterilization system, I know I can drop some pennies down there and it'll purify that water in a couple of days. You feel me? So, I had to go through a series of things. I had to go to a psychologist. And I sat and talked with the psychologist a few times. And I just told her, what's the point of me coming here to talk to you if I can't talk to the person who I got a problem with and we fix it? She told me I ain't had to come back. And I made a lot of sense. And so I know my mother and Alfred was instructed to go get counseling. My mother never did. And so, shit got a little tight. At some point I had to go back to their house. And one time, my stepbrother Tutu, I don't classify him as a stepbrother. He's my brother because he done been through some shit with me. They told him one day to put me in the car, him and Shelton, and they wanted us to follow them. They took me to a foster home. My mother took me in there and she told them folks she ain't want me no more. And at the foster home, they said the only way that Isha could stay, at this time I'm 15, years done transpired with this bullshit. So the foster home said the only way Isha could stay is if she verbally agreed that she gonna stay. I'm like, okay. Now I ain't staying. I gotta deal with y'all bullshit like y'all gonna have to deal with mine. Well, at this time I wasn't 15, I wasn't 16. I was 15. So I said, no, I ain't staying. Get back in the car with Tutu and Shelton. Tutu say, I ain't know they was going to take you here. I ain't be no part of this shit. You feel me? Tutu is Afra's son. He's just one of his older boys. And so, he was like, Gian, they ain't tell me no shit like this. I wouldn't have brought you here. I don't want no parts of that shit. So, I had just decided, listen, all the mental shit that I'm going through with these folks, is wearing on me, and I'm young. See, when young folks go through the shit that I done been through, a lot of them don't come out. Because they man be fucked up. They don't know who to trust, who to love. They're not sure about their parents. When your parents turn on you, when you are a vulnerable child and you watch your mother turn on you, she includes you in her situation, but she make you out to be the villain and the victim. Not the victim, but the villain in some more shit. Like, it kind of make you look at the world a little different. You understand what I'm saying? So, I had to went through a series of things with them. And I just was like, I am sick of this shit. I'm leaving. And I'm not never fucking coming back. So when I turned 16, I was like, send me the Job Corps. I went, got the fuck on, y'all. I got the fuck on. And I went to Earl C. Clemens, Job Corps. And I was cool there. Started, gangbanging a little bit there. Running a little alcohol, running some weed on property. Paid a few motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck. You can't do nothing about it now. Shit, I'm old and grown now. Fuck y'all. And so, I was doing good though. I got down. I did culinary arts in there, but they found out about the game banging. But I had just finished all my shit, so they made me leave. They gave me my money though and told me I can come back in a year. So I chose, and went went to Atlanta. I went to Atlanta. I can't remember where the fuck I went. I don't know if I had to go back home. But wherever I was, I can't remember. I know that when my time was up with that year expiring, I was right back on the first thing smoking. And I went to Atlanta Job Corps. And I got there, and it's 234 Westlake. I got there, and I just said, fuck this shit. I'm going to make the best of this because I can't go back home. I ain't want it there. Then it made me feel like, you know what I'm saying? Now I done built up, what's the word? Insecurities. My body messed up. It's bruised. I got scrapes and scratches and, you know what I'm saying? All type of shit, man. So I just was like, I'm going to just stay here. I don't want to be bothered. All right. I started making my way in Atlanta. And so, so Afra had a sister here named Jean. Well, we call her Auntie Jean. Auntie Jean was probably another guardian angel for me because, she would bring me food to school. She would call and check on me. And so I'm just really grateful for that. Because through all this shit, I had people that was reaching out to me that was more of a mother than my own. And I love them to this day, and I respect them, and would shoot a bitch real bad about them because while I was going through all of this shit, I still had a few people who knew me and loved me for me and did not judge me behind my mother, so they was still there. Even to this day, Auntie Marilyn. I don't give a fuck what she got going on, what she doing. That's always going to be my nigga because she helped save my life. Auntie Jean did too. So, Auntie Jean wants someone to call me sometimes. I'm there. I never abandon Auntie Jean to the point where she just can't get in contact with me, or if it's just to that bad point where she needs something, I'm going. I might not see her every day. I might not talk to her every day. I damn sure keep up with her though. And so Uncle Butch had gave me a job with them, and I was working with him for B&B cleaning services. And we cleaned New Balance. They was downtown. We cleaned the Tabernacle when the Olympics was here, the 1996 Olympics. We cleaned virtual reality game and spot they had. It was me, Stormy, and Mark, which is a merged online. It was Harold, my cousin Erica, shit, my cousin best friend Larry, and a few more people. We worked for Uncle Butch. So he was teaching me the game. And I took it all in, And I got so comfortable with Atlanta. And the fact that, my sister, she wasn't there when I needed her to be there. She wasn't there to protect me. She wasn't there to, what I'm saying? And I felt some type of way about that. But I learned that even to this day, my sister got some things that, that's bothering her. I don't know how much counseling it's going to take. But some things you just got to deal with, put it behind you and move on. You can't hold on to it. And through all of this, I've learned to forgive my mother because through all the shit that she done took me through it and I done been through, I know that if I do what God says, regardless, my passage, when it's time for me to go, I'm going to get there. And so, you have to forgive people. You do. Because if you don't, people ain't going to forgive you. And, that's one of his commandments. So at this point right now, even with the altercation me and my mother just had, it wasn't an altercation, but we exchanged words. I told my mother, you can do whatever you want to do with me in this life. Do whatever you feel like. Because when you go see God, he got to deal with you. And he going to do what he want to do with you, how he pleases in his place. And so, at that point, I was, fuck it. So, but anyway, Auntie Jean put me onto a lot of shit. And I learned how to maneuver and move around in Atlanta. And Atlanta became my new home. And people would be like, she ain't coming for family reunions or functions. No, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I ain't even go back to see my daddy in Chicago. I just wanted to stay away from Florida and away from Chicago because that part of my life was it was painful, and I just wanted to be somewhere where that shit is not on my shoulder. Even though it's going to be there regardless. The way I could deal with it is a lot better. And, I was comfortable with the fact that the people around me, even though they was not blood related, they still love me unconditionally. I got cussed out. I got fussed at. I ain't never get put out, but, it was what it was, and shit, can't nobody take that from me. Because through all the shit, I still have people in my life who love me regardless. So, my mother, child, she had